Good morning and welcome. It's 10 o'clock on the 21st of March. Right, a little bit later today. And we'll start today with the AUD USD. I have taken advice and I've changed to a white screen. I hope you like it. It's a little bit different from me, but there you go. AUD USD. I've put a trend line on the RSI and it is just starting to cut it a little bit at the moment, but it's not what I would call a convincing crossing the trend line. It's sort of hitting it at a slight angle and slightly upwards. So, I don't know whether just to move that down a little bit, maybe wait a little bit later, have a look at it. But I'm already in. As you can see, these are short. If anybody's interested, these are short entries. But like I say, the RSI hasn't actually crossed that trend line in a positive sort of way, and that's why I've lent it over a little bit more. Out New Zealand, I'm already in this, very, very slightly into profit. The RSI is coming down onto the trend line and it's at a nice steep angle, so that does look fairly convincing. And of course you've got the commitment of traders report is with it, as with the AUD USD. And now we're on the pound Australian dollar. We've entered this. We got in a little bit early actually. I put the trend line on here on the RSI, and we just broke it this morning. So that's calling it long there, and we'll see how we continue with that tomorrow. S&P 500. I've actually put a trend line on this, and this will be very interesting. We've got a green candle today, and we'll see whether it actually continues down this trend line and crosses the 50 mark on the RSI. There we go. Euro NOK, I am out of this, and I'm not convinced anymore about it being short, so I'm actually taking that off. Yeah. Euro JPY, this is short, so I've got two trades in at the top. These are quite large trades, and I've got a trade, this smaller trade down the bottom. So that looks to me like it's going to go down. The commitment of traders report is with it, so I'm quite happy with that. Yes, AUD CAD. Yeah, I've actually got a red candle there, a short candle. So I'm ever hopeful that this trade's going to come right. My stop loss is actually off the screen. Euro JPY, yes. I've got two large trades. I've got three large trades in at the top there. And I've got a small trade down the bottom. And I've got my stop losses there. We've just had that green candle this morning, so it's still trending down as far as I'm concerned. So we'll see how that goes on today. Euro GBP. Yeah, well that is following through nicely down. I'm not in it. Yeah, I mean, if I was putting a trend line up to go short, I would have come from down here and put my trend line up there, and would have given me a signal about there, but I didn't. Euro dollar, yes, well that's going against me a little bit at the moment, so I'm selling the euro dollar. So not quite what I expected. The CFTCs did say short, and if I just put my trend line on this RSI here, So the short signal will be when it comes and breaks the trend line. At the moment, it's still continuing up. Pound USD, well, that's done very well for Andrew. Liked that one. I must say I wasn't convinced by it, but I didn't enter the trade, and it seems to be having a good run. New Zealand dollar, Singapore dollar. I had this long. I came into a little bit of profit yesterday, and I decided to get out. It was looking very unconvincing. The stochastic was looking high. Just didn't fancy it. So there you go. So I'm actually going to remove this one from the screen. Silver. It's about where it was. It's not doing much. It looks like it might actually go down again. So we might get back into that. The USD Canadian dollar, I've actually got knocked out of that. So I'm out at the moment. We'll see where that goes and look for re-entry later. USD Japanese yen. I'm short this. It still looks like it's shorting. We'll see where we go with that. I've got my stop losses in. I've got 2 trades in at the top here and my stop loss down below. So we'll see how that goes later on today. USD Mexican peso. It's about where it was yesterday. So it's not actually turned round yet. And in fact, if you put your trend line in, that's there. Right, the buy signal is when it crosses that. So I have got into that way too early. You know, there again, previously, if I'd have had it down here, I would have got in about there, which would have put the trade about where it is. And oil, that's not slipping anywhere at the moment. It's just going sideways. So we'll have a look at that. I really don't know what to say about that. The commitments of traders was fairly sort of like non-committal, and basically it hasn't done anything. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.